Prescott, throwing end zone. He's got no choice in the corner, and is out of bounds with 5 seconds left. And we got a whistle. What happened here? All or nothing. Prescott dancing around. Just going to throw in the end zone. His catch is made by Lamb, but he's short. The Eagles will win it.
Oh, the Eagles do their best to botch the end of their game against the Cowboys, but they hold on 28-23. This is interesting to see. Good teams win, great teams cover. Daily Sports Podcast, etc. And I'm hoping that our technical issues have been solved. And if they haven't, then there won't be an episode today, and you won't hear any of this. What a weird day of NFL football. The story of the day for me, there are two. Number one is that Josh Dobbs literally had to learn the plays on the sideline for the Minnesota Vikings. And that C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback in the NFL. At least he was a little bit ago. How crazy is that? So let's go to Josh Dobbs. Jaron Hall, the tiny little quarterback from BYU. I think he's really small. He's like 5'8" or something. 3rd to 7th round pick. I don't know. Not a top pick. Played for BYU. Was okay at BYU. Very Russell Wilson-y kind of vibes from this guy. He got hurt. And so Josh Dobbs, who was just traded for, the trading for a defensive end or a running back is different. Like, hey, sack the quarterback. Here are like 4 calls you need to know. Playing for a running back is like run to the right, run to the left. It's a slow run. It's a fast run. It's a pitch. It's a handoff. Quarterback is like the hard one. And Josh Dobbs comes in for the injured Jaron Hall. Then the Falcons go down and take the lead. It's 28-24. Josh Dobbs has like 2 minutes left to take them down the field. And they need a touchdown, not a field goal. They need a touchdown. They need a tutty. And Josh plays out of his mind. It was incredible. Here he is stepping up. Look at that throw. Look at that layered throw. Right in the turkey hole, as what's his name used to say. Right in the turkey hole. Look, there he is. Watch this. Watch this run. Watch this run from Josh Dobbs. He's scrambling. Got me. But, oh, shoot. No. Whoever that is, 55, should have taken one more step before they lunged to tackle him, is my personal opinion. I think they probably should have just taken just a second longer. Just a second longer to try to tackle him. You know what I mean? And there he is. And then watch the touchdown pass. Here it comes. Let's listen to the call. Unbelievable.
3rd and 4.
3rd and 4.
Time.
Also, like, guard their best receiver, I think, maybe. So Josh Dobbs wins. Here he is on the sideline learning, like, the calls. Look at him. He's teaching the linemen his cadence, and they're all like, okay, all right. Yeah, I played football before. They're like, all right, shit, I guess. All right, cool. And they're like, he literally is teaching, and they're learning on the sidelines. How cool is that? Shout out to CJ Stroud, the rookie, who probably should have been taken first overall, would be my guess. Yeah, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns accounted for. Unbelievable. Best rookie game from a quarterback of all time. Rookie of the Year race is over for sure. Let's go to Vegas, where the Raiders, after trading Josh McDaniels to retirement, excuse me, they beat the Giants a shit ton to nothing. Not nothing. I think they did score. The Giants suck. They're horrible. Daniel Jones got hurt again. They're into their 3rd-string quarterback, Danny DeVito. After the game, well, you know what? Let's just do this. This report dropped per Jay Glazer on Fox. Quote, before firing Josh McDaniels, the Raiders had a team meeting where players directed their frustrations at McDaniels and unloaded on him. McDaniels had Antonio Pierce, that's the new interim head coach, speak on his behalf, on McDaniels' behalf. And Pierce brought up the Giants' remember the New York Giants 2017 that beat the undefeated Patriots, explaining how that team believed they could beat anyone. Pierce said the Raiders need that mindset. The players all loved it, but McDaniels didn't. McDaniels told Pierce when everyone left, don't ever talk about the Patriots like that. Bro. Daddy Bill had himself a bad day, too. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's when everyone saw how divided the building was, and the owner Mark Davis wanted Pierce as his head coach. Don't talk about the Patriots. My daddy won't like it. Sucks to suck, Josh. You're so close to being the best team of all time in 2007, but you fucking weren't. Sucks to suck, and now you'll never coach for anyone other than Bill again. Maybe in college. So here's the Raiders after the game. They're smoking cigars, man. Look at them. Look at that. See, they just want to play some ball. And they're very much alive in the AFC playoffs. We're in the middle of the season where people like no one's good. And it's possible. Let's go to the locker room for the Indianapolis Colts where Jim Irsay is dancing. Dreams and nightmares from, who is that, Meek? How cool. Look at that. Look at Jimmy. Go, Jim. Go, Jim, you billionaire. Yeah, he feels probably pretty good after destroying the Panthers and Bryce Young through 2 pick sixes. 2? Yep. So CJ Stroud, good. Anthony Richardson, good. Will Levis, good. Bryce Young, bad. It's always one. There's always one. You just never know who it's going to be. The Texans game. Let's go back to the Texans game. Dare Ngumbawale, who's a running back for the Texans, kicked a field goal. Here it is.
Very alert on fakes here.
Their field goal kicker got hurt.
Ngumbawale, 7-year NFL veteran, normally a running back. The field goal attempt
nailed it.
Is good.
That's a big field goal. 30. If it was tied 30-all against the Bucs, was probably the game of the day. A lot of fun. Whew. How cool is that? Let's go to college sports ball. Are we done with NFL sports ball? Let's go to college sports ball where Jim Harbaugh, watch this quick handshake here. There's like Ryan Walters with the flyby handshake. Yeah, people are not ready for Jim. The shoe, I think, is going to drop this week. I don't know. A lot of accusations. Michigan has one of their 2 losable games of the year this weekend in Penn State, and we should all want to kill Fox Sports for making that game at noon. A-holes, douchebags. Ah, God. But anyway, there are a lot of rumors on the internet right now that there's going to be some stuff coming out soon about this. More stuff, which is fun. Over the weekend, Connor Steins resigned, and he took all of the blame and said Jim had no idea what was going on. That's right, folks. Jim Harbaugh, the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, did not know that there was a dipshit on his team that was stealing signs, and he allowed that dipshit to be on the sidelines and apparently was unaware that his coordinators were listening to that dipshit on the sidelines. Jim Harbaugh, of course, just a buffoon, unaware of all of this. He had no idea that his coordinators were taking directions from a 30-year-old asshole. No idea. He was unaware, for sure. Obviously, he was so unaware, it was wild. Let's go to Bedlam, the last scheduled Bedlam for like a million years. Oklahoma, of course, departing for the SEC. Oklahoma State wins the ballgame and puts the nail in the coffin of the Sooners. They have a long road to go to even now finish in the top 3 in the Big 12. Think about that, because Kansas beat them too. Kansas has 2 losses, and Oklahoma State has 2 losses, and both of those teams have head-to-head. So at the end of the game, Taylor Swift making the rounds. Of course, she wasn't there. She wasn't there. She's making the rounds in college football and pro football. And what is Oklahoma State? Are never, ever getting back together. What a good middle finger from Oklahoma State after Bedlam. Notre Dame got the nail in their season's coffin. They'll finish 9-3. Then they'll get a bowl game. They could end up ranked, I'm going to guess, Music City Bowl against Tennessee. Oh, that would be fun. Music City Bowl against Tennessee. That would be fun. That would be a fun ball game. I would be totally down with that one. Yeah, they just don't have wide receivers. I don't know how else to say it, and they don't call plays. And just how many times am I going to say this? Teams with receivers win games. Wide receivers win games. Linemen win championships. Wide receivers win games. They lose games. You can win a championship with Notre Dame's offensive and defensive line. You can't win games, though. As paradoxical as that sounds. Washington game was pretty intense. Let's start with Caleb Williams. A lot of male emoting going on. Caleb Williams, a tough season. He is very clearly the best player in college football. I don't think he should win the Heisman, whatever. He's very, very clearly the best player in college football. Travis Hunter was until he got mossed by some dude I've never heard of. So after the game, 10-point loss to the Washington Huskies. 3rd loss of the year for USC. I forget they lost to Notre Dame by a ton. They lost to Washington. They lost to Utah in a close game. Utah just owns them. So USC and Notre Dame, their seasons, for all intents and purposes, come to a close. And Caleb Williams hops in the stands. And by the way, this is what I'm talking about with the Pac-12. There's no reason for Washington and USC to be playing. They could have been playing like Nevada. Like, what are we doing? This is why you guys never make the playoff. You play too many cross-division games. Anyway, hops in the stands to see his mom and watch him. He's just crying. It's just been a tough year, a lot of stuff. Remember, if you want to get on Caleb Williams, you got to get on him for being a fucking moron, thinking he's going to own a stake of an NFL team ever in his life, except for like after he retires. And by the way, only Brady and like Manning have pulled that off. Actually, I don't even think Manning has. So that's really stupid. And so he's got some dumbasses in his life. But this is great. I like this male emotion. That's really cool. I think there's not enough of that kind of thing. Just wants to hug his mom. I like it. And she's smart enough to cover his face. I like that from her. And then Zion Tupuola Fatui, his father died before the game against USC. So here's what he had to say.
Obviously, he loves you, Dobbs, bro. And I know I'd just be doing him wrong if I didn't play. But I'm thankful I was able to play good in his memory. Oh, man, that was him playing through me, you know? I mean, the beginning of the game, I don't even know if I wanted to play.
Shouts to men having emotions. Someone named Coach Jason Brown said about Caleb Williams crying, "How about play better and man up, you soft weirdo ass hat wearing excuse making clown? Quit making excuses for these soft ass kids and man up." Well, he's saying this about Robert Griffin III. "I wouldn't draft his nail polish wearing ass if he was the last QB available." So Coach Jason Brown coached a JUCO team that was on Netflix for a while for a documentary about how fucking crazy JUCO football is. No one important has ever asked Jason Brown who to draft. In fact, no one in the media, none of the bloggers have asked Coach Jason Brown who to draft. That's why you're a JUCO coach. They're not very good at this. Fucking loser. Have you ever heard the term small dick energy? That's what that is. Arthur Smith's seat's getting hot, man. Oh, man. We've got a lot of football. Let's see. Should we just wrap this up? Do baseball and basketball tomorrow. Wrap this up and do some Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. No. I usually don't love the AFC as much as the NFC just because I'm a Lions fan. But I'm suddenly fascinated with the New York Jets, and I'm rooting for Zach Wilson super duper hard. Josh Dobbs, by the way, bet on Josh Dobbs comeback player of the year. I don't know if there are odds on that, but I'll figure it out here in a minute. Anyway, I also like Zach Wilson, but his odds aren't that great because other people apparently like it too. The Jets are 3.5-point home underdogs. Remember, Robert Salah said they made the best quarterbacks in the NFL. They embarrassed them, except for Dak, who dropped like 90 points on him. Jalen Hurts owned him, owned Patrick Mahomes, owned Josh Allen. They looked awesome. And now we think that Justin Herbert's going to go on the road to New York City and just like be better than those guys? I don't think so. Brandon Staley coaching for his job. I think that next week the Chargers play the Lions. The Lions are going to kill 3 coaching careers this year. So McDaniels, check. Next one will be Staley next week. And the one after that will be Eberflus the second time they play him, which I think is Thanksgiving. Book it. Jets are 3.5-point underdogs, and the Chargers have a horrendous defense. If you're Zach Wilson, you're like, nice. So exciting. I get to like see some stuff. And the Jets' defense is filthy. They're so good. They're so good. The Chargers are soft. They're confused. Brandon Staley knows he's coaching for his job. Let's just see NFL standings. I think that the Chargers might officially be behind the Raiders. Yeah, so the Raiders are 4-5 now after firing McDaniels. They're all chasing the Chiefs in that division, but then the Chargers are 3-4. So if they lose this game, they'll be 3-5. It's good math, Nick. Thanks, guys. That puts them tied with the Broncos. The only worst teams in the AFC, the only worst team in the AFC are the Patriots. So I said we'd talk about. We'll do that later. They lost to Washington. LOL. The only worst team than the Chargers will be the Patriots in that division. Did you hear me? That's crazy. I'm telling you guys right now. Brandon Staley will be fired soon. What about in the NFC? The NFC's got the worst team in the league with the Cardinals and the Panthers. The Bears are horrible too. Tyson Bagent. That's not fun. All 4 teams in the AFC North will be in the playoffs right now. I bet on the Steelers to win that division. I like it, but the Raiders win by 1 million. The Ravens win by 1 million, excuse me. And after destroying the division-leading Seahawks and destroying the division-leading Lions, the Ravens are my pick to win the Super Bowl. We're halfway there. They're the best team in the NFL. It is not close. It is frank. And the 2 losses they have were dumb luck and receiver drops. They could have killed those teams. The Ravens are by far the best team in the NFL. Okay. Monday Night Football and whatever. Michigan, I'm telling you, Michigan stuff's going down this week. Just a lot of whispers on the internet. Okay. Back in better than ever tomorrow. Bye-bye.